Morning. Can someone please explain to me why I've agreed to do this? Because I don't know. Today is Saturday the something. Days don't mean anything anymore. But it is just after 8 a.m. and today's plan is to stay up for 24 hours and read for as many of those hours as I possibly can. Why? I don't know, because Aoife told me to. No, Aoife raised the idea that to celebrate the end of the Irish Readathon, we should do a 24-hour readathon. Which at the time I was like, yeah, that would be fun. Now that it's 8 a.m. on a Saturday, not fun. I'm gonna try and stay up for 24 hours, though I'm fully expecting to fail. I'm gonna read for as many of those hours as possible. I actually only have 3 Irish books left that I can read. So I've got Holding by Graham Norton, which I'm currently reading, which is like cozy crime set in Cork. It's quite nice, but I'm not sure cozy crime is like my thing. Days Without End by Sebastian Barry, which I haven't even started yet, and it was on my main TBR. I don't necessarily want to read all of this today, but I definitely want to make a pretty big dent in it. And then finally, Vagina, a Re-Education by Leanne. But I kind of don't want to read this because I kind of want to save it for a reading project that I want to do in April. I think I'll definitely have a look at Scribd as well and see what Irish audiobooks I can get off there. And I might even do a reread. I might reread either a Sally Rooney or a Louise O'Neill. I don't know. I'm not really a big rereader. But I know I definitely do want to start and finish a book in a day. I would like to do that. But I feel like these 3 aren't actually contenders for that. So we'll have to choose something else. Choose what audiobook I would like to listen to on Scribd. I got a free trial of Scribd and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm just going to go into my saved titles. I might listen to this short story by Anna Burns, who wrote Milkman. I might read the 3rd book in the Perfect series, or maybe the Sarah Crossan book, because I think that would be quite short. But what I'm going to listen to for now is Under the Duvet by Marion Keyes.
Under the Duvet by Marion Keyes. Narrated by Marion Keyes.
It is now, I don't even know, like 3 o'clock-ish. Time doesn't mean anything anymore. But we're quite a few hours into this and I don't have that much motivation to read. Is anyone else finding that at the moment? It's just kind of like, normally the idea of just having all of this time to just sit in your house and read is such, like, it seems like such a luxury. But actually the idea of sitting down for several hours in the same place, doing the same thing, isn't really, it's not sparking joy for me at the moment. But I feel like the thing for me to do is like push through it. As you would have seen, I did finish Holding this morning. And I enjoyed it. I just think like cozy crime isn't really my thing. I think it's written really well and I would be intrigued to read Graham Norton's other novel, but I don't know, it didn't set my heart alight. I also listened to Under the Duvet by Marion Keyes, which is a collection of like her essays and journalism. Some of it had been published in like Irish newspapers before, some of it was previously unpublished, but most of the essays are from like the late 90s. She narrates the audiobook as well, which is fantastic. I just love listening to her voice, it's so peaceful. And actually
I'm really getting on with audiobooks. Like I said, the idea of just sitting there with a paperback open isn't really sparking joy for me, but I'm really enjoying audiobooks like a lot at the moment. So I don't think that will be the only audiobook I listen to today, but now I am going to try and make a dent in Days Without End. I mentioned it to some of my friends, and one of my friends was like, when he read it, it actually took him quite a few sittings to get through it, and he read some other books like while he was reading this one, and that's kind of the feeling I think I'm gonna have. Like, I don't think this is gonna be one that I'm just gonna sit and plow through in a day, and I've accepted that. So that's my plan for the rest of the day. So I've just read the first 4 chapters, or 54 pages, of Days Without End by Sebastian Barry, and it's a much easier read than I thought it would be in terms of style. But right from the get-go, you really get a sense that this is a novel about the trauma that war inflicts on people, and right away you see some of the really harrowing experiences that these men are going through.
Many hours later.
I spent the last few hours basically just faffing around and hanging out downstairs with my mum. But I thought I would quickly update you that I am halfway through Days Without End by Sebastian Barry, and what a pleasant surprise this novel has been, in that I thought it was going to be quite difficult to get through, but the writing style is actually, like, I want to say simplistic, but I don't mean that in any kind of derogatory way. But I think the simplistic writing style really balances out the fact that there are so many harrowing things in this book. I don't know if I've even mentioned what it's about, but it's about these 2 young men who joined the US Army in the 1850s. Yeah, 1850s. Just looks at a lot of the traumatic experiences that they go through as part of that. And it also looks at the relationship between these 2, and this book has some fantastic LGBTQ plus themes and representation in it. I think I actually will finish this before I go to sleep. I'm not expecting to actually stay up for 24 hours. I'm already sleepy, so I do think if I'm gonna get anywhere close to it, this isn't the book that's gonna get me through the toughest moments of it. As much as I'm enjoying this isn't the kind of book where I can be like, I want to stay up all night reading this. But for now, it's like 8 o'clock now. For now, I'm gonna read a little bit more.
Does anyone else just like not get Scribd? Like when you go into it here, basically all of my save titles are gone and say they're available at some point like next month. And I've read their little explanation of it and I still
don't really get it. Like, I know it's based on how much you use the app, but like there's 60 plus titles that I've saved and none of them are available. Seems a little silly, but it is what it is. If I wanted to read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Snakes, though, I could read that. Great. So I'm going to go into my library app, and yes, I still use my Welsh membership, and I'm going to listen to this one.
Canongate Books presents The Island Child by Molly Aitken.
I'm gonna try and stay awake for 10 more hours. And I'm already losing the will to live. Two things have happened which make me certain that this is gonna fail. Thing number one, I've started to yawn. Thing number two, I downloaded TikTok. Things can only get worse from here. I'm a goner.
So I think what I'm going to need to get me through these next few hours is a reread. I did think about one by Sarah Crossan, but I think I want to reread Normal People by Sally Rooney. It was my favourite book of a couple of years ago, and I think it's really going to get me through this.
The thing is, I may have accidentally fallen asleep between the hours of 3 and 6. Whoops. It is like 6 a.m. now, and I've already fucked it because I was asleep for 3 hours. But for the next 2 hours, I am going to read a bit more of Normal People and see how much I can get through. It was my own fault for deciding my reading location should be my bed, the place where I sleep.
2 hours later.
Right, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going back to sleep. I really don't know why I thought getting into bed was going to help the situation. For some reason I thought if I didn't get into my pyjamas, if I just stayed in what I was wearing in the day, then I wouldn't fall asleep, which is ridiculous. I did get a lot of reading done. To recap, I finished reading Holden by Graham Norton. I read the entirety of Days Without End by Sebastian Barry. I listened to half of The Island Child by Molly Aitken, and I think I've got about 3/4 of the way through Normal People because I was reading so slowly for the past couple hours. And I listened to the entirety of Under the Duvet by Marion Keyes, and now that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get under the duvet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for participating in the Irish Readathon. If you did at any point during the month, let me know what you read and if you enjoyed it. I'd love to have a chat with you guys down in the comments. I hope you guys are keeping well and safe, and I will talk to you in the next one.